Welcome back, everybody. Coffee and Grace podcast with Amanda. I wanted to hop on today and share my experience of a cruise missions that I took back in March. The reason that I want to share about this several months later is because last week we actually had our missions conference down at Faith Forward Baptist Church, and I thought it would be just a fun way to encourage others to get involved if they heard a little bit more about how these cruise missions work and just another person's experience to build excitement about this kind of a trip. So the amazing thing about this, I just want to share some of our numbers with you as far as the cruise missions itself. Now, we've had far more salvations than this with our regular soul winning as well as other missions trips that were taken. But our theme for this year was actually doing cruise missions. So I want to share those stats with you so far this year. So far this year, we've had 57 different soul winners participate in cruise missions. We've visited 17 different countries and 34 different ports, and we've had a total of 1,486 salvations so far with the cruise missions. Now, this is a different method that you could do where if you wanted to do a missions trip, it would be, a very affordable way to do it, and you don't have to worry about booking a whole bunch of hotels every night and that kind of thing. You're basically just booking your cruise, and then you're fed every day on the ship. You're really taken care of on the ship. And so every day you just wake up on a new island and go soul winning on that island. And then in the evening, get back on the ship and do the same thing the next day. So it's very easy as far as planning for a missions trip. It's like an entry level type missions trip, which is what I needed because I hate traveling. But amazingly, you offer to put me on a cruise ship and take me to the Bahamas, and I'm there. So this was super fun. And so if you've never been on a missions trip or never been on a cruise missions trip, I highly recommend that you go. So how this happened in March of earlier this year, Mrs. Anderson asked me to be her guest. So I was so excited about that. And my husband was able to get the time off work and take the kiddos to Mimi and Pop-Pop. So they were all taken care of for that week that I was gone. I didn't have to worry about anyone. I could just enjoy the trip and do the soul winning and not have to worry about anything. So it was really, really amazing. So our totals for that March trip, we had 26 different soul winners that participated in the trip, and we had 268 salvations. So it was really, really a super successful trip, and it was really, really fun. So we had a lot of great people that went on this trip, and Brother Kenton Knowles actually met us in Nassau at the straw market and helped us, transported us to the university and to the schools and helped us out that day. He's so hospitable and helpful on these missions trips. And so shout out to Brother Ken. Thank you so much for always helping us when we come to visit. So basically the first day of the cruise, we were in Nassau. We woke up in Nassau, and that was going to be like our big day. And like I said, because Brother Kenton Knowles, we met him at the straw market there, and we separated into two groups. Now, some of us went to the university. I was in the university group, and some of us went to the school. And so we broke up into these groups and we went soul winning. So we were dropped off at these places. And unfortunately, after being at the university for a short time, we were asked to leave. And so they gathered up a bunch of us that they found and took us down to the security, and we tried to get approval to stay and be able to preach the gospel, but we could not. They denied it. But what was really awesome is they told us that we could stand outside the gate. So we were able to still win a lot of people coming and going, leaving from the university. And so that was really awesome. And something that was super fun that we did on this trip was actually had the people who accepted Christ sign the flag for the Bahamas. So I thought that was super fun. So it was so refreshing to be around just really kind people, really respectful young people. They really want to hear what you have to say about the Lord. And so we had a really great day in Nassau. I know our numbers were slowed a little bit at the university because we were asked to leave. And that kind of took up a lot of our time when we got stuck waiting. But once we were released again out in the front, we were able to begin soul winning again. And I still think it was a pretty successful day. And that day I actually won more people to the Lord than I ever have in one day. And in the entire week, I actually won more people to the Lord than I ever have in 1 week. And a lot of people had that experience. And what was really awesome was some of the people were actually talking to people in smaller groups, like three to five in the group. And they were actually able to win like double digits on this trip, 20s, 30s, 40s on this trip. And so that was really, really awesome. So the small groups is definitely the way to go if you're able to talk to people in smaller groups. That way you can still, the group is still small enough to where you can check their salvation, make sure, and you're paying attention to each individual person to make sure that they actually understand the gospel. So that is a really great tip. And then Tuesday, we actually visited the private island, and that was really nice. That was our free day. So we got to go snorkeling that day, and that was really fun. I'm a nose breather. Yeah. So I had a hard time learning how to snorkel and breathe right. I was actually scared to death to go snorkeling. So it took me a little bit of, I had to actually practice doing this before I could actually go snorkeling, but I had a really great time once I got the hang of it and I was able to actually go out with Mrs. Anderson. And so that was a really fun experience. Some people went swimming with the pigs, which next time I go back, I really, really want to go swimming with the pigs, take my boys with me and do that. I think that would be super fun to experience that. It's just something silly that they do there. And I just thought it's hilarious, and I actually want to try that myself. And so that private island is called Great Stirrup Cay. And so that was our free day. So we didn't really do any soul winning that day. Some people may have, but I didn't. I was just hanging out, right? And so that was our play day. Wednesday was Bimini Island, which is actually my favorite island. It is so, so beautiful. I'll definitely be showing you some pictures and video of that. This island was super fun too, because we had these golf carts rented, and we rented them in groups of 4. And we just experienced really fun times in getting to our soul winning place on these Jeeps. They actually go pretty fast. They're kind of like a little Jeep golf cart. And so it was really funny to drive on them. And our driver was Brother Madison, and he is a hilarious driver. I actually almost fell off the back of this golf cart with his driving. It was super funny. But yeah, next time I was sure to hang on after that. But we had a really great time, and I really enjoyed that. So the next day was Thursday. That was at Freeport. Now, that was the least receptive day out of all of them, but we still made the best of it. And our group got sent into an area where the neighborhood turned out to be mostly upper class. People were at work. There were just a lot of people were not answering the door, or they weren't home or whatever. So we weren't seeing very much success in that area at all. So shortly after that, we went back to the area where we were actually dropped off. Convenience store and different things like that in this strip mall with the laundromat on it. And at this place, we were just giving the gospel to whoever was coming and going. And it was really interesting because at the laundromat, there was this really crazy guy there. And I started giving him the gospel. I didn't realize he was crazy at the time. I'm just giving the guy the gospel, and he did try to talk a lot. So that is really hard when you're talking to somebody and you're trying to tell them the gospel and they keep wanting to talk the whole time. So I would keep trying to redirect this guy and get him back on track. And pretty soon I just realized he wasn't all there, and I'm just gonna, call it quits on this one, right? So apparently I disrupted the demons with this guy. And after I was done talking to him, he basically started just yelling and screaming throughout this little shopping center. And he was quoting the Bible, and he was just yelling all this crazy stuff. And it was really annoying. I almost went and yelled at the guy to tell him to just shut up. Like, he was just so obnoxious. It was so annoying. So that was not a fun part. But what was funny about it is I was talking to another gentleman, and I was giving him the gospel, and it was during the same time that this guy was yelling. And I basically told him, you know, you might want to get saved because people that reject God, this is how they end up. So if you don't want to end up like this crazy dude over here, you might want to go ahead and get saved today. And so without hesitation, the guy just got saved because obviously nobody wants to end up not in their right mind, right? So that was kind of a funny story for the day, but we had an overall decent time. We still had salvations that day. And so that was really good. And then Friday, we arrived back in Miami. Boo-hoo! But it was a great trip, and just waking up every morning on a new island. And Mrs. Anderson got a balcony room, and I highly recommend that because the balcony room, you can go out and sit on the balcony when you're out to sea in your own private room. You don't have to be dealing with anybody else. And I really loved that. So in the mornings, I would actually go out on the balcony and have my coffee and do my Bible reading and enjoy being out at sea. It was so, so beautiful. And so a couple of recommendations I have for you if you decide to go on a cruise missions. If you are a coffee drinker, I suggest getting room service. That's what I really suggest, especially if you are not a morning person as far as dealing with people first thing in the morning. I am not. I am an extrovert. I do love people, but not before my morning coffee. And so I had a really hard time with that because what I ended up doing is getting those instant coffee packs and just putting it in a bottle of water and shaking it up and drinking it. And that was just the worst thing. It was like, you know, I just wanted to spew it out of my mouth. It was neither hot nor cold. It was just gross. So I do highly recommend getting room service to have them bring you water for your own coffee if you want to bring the packets, or having them bring you coffee. You can, of course, just get up and get ready and go start the day with everyone else. If you are a people person, and go down to the cafe, go to the restaurant, get your coffee, do whatever you want. Next time I'm getting room service though, because that's just how I roll. I am not wanting to deal with people first thing in the morning. So I do recommend that if you are a coffee drinker. And a couple of other cool things that I thought made the trip really more enjoyable and helpful tools along the way is having a lanyard. One of my friends got me this before we left, and I thought it was really sweet of her. And it was really nice to have because this was the card to get into our room on the ship. And so we basically just scanned this little card and got into our room. And so different ships have different ways of doing things. My husband just went on a cruise too. And he basically had like a little round thing. So it wasn't, you know, a card or anything. So different cruise lines, I guess, do different things. So you'll have to just see what your cruise line does. But anyways, the lanyard was helpful to hold that room key and also my ID, because sometimes when you get back on the ship, you have to show your ID, or you're going about doing different things, and it's just convenient to have everything like right there. And also luggage tags. Now this one went on my regular suitcase, and then these actually held the ship ones. So these ones actually, when you get your boarding information from your ship, from your cruise line, you're going to want to put those on here. Now I have two of these because I actually had two bags. So as far as bags go, I recommend getting wheels. So I have, this is actually, you know, a bag that I recommend. It's basically a backpack. It has, you know, the little straps for the backpack, and it also has the wheels. So it's more convenient to just roll it. And it has lots of pockets. It has, you know, an area for your laptop. It has all these different front pockets. It has a water bottle on the side, a water bottle holder on the side. On the other side, it has a smaller little compartment. This is perfect for actually, my hydrogen water bottle goes here in this little side pocket here. And then it has the water bottle pocket over here. And then it has the front pocket here. Up here is another little tiny pocket. So I recommend something like that. I didn't actually use it on the cruise this time because I thought it might have been too big based on the American Airlines description, but they actually didn't like measure our carry-on bags. So, but I didn't know they were gonna do that. So I actually ordered this other bag, which wasn't too bad. It met the size requirements, and it has lots of pockets, and it's like a mini suitcase, but it's a backpack. So you can carry it like this, but it opens up actually 2 ways. So you can literally like have it like a suitcase, or you can have it as like a regular backpack. I didn't like this one as much just because it did not have wheels, first of all, and because I felt like it was kind of floppy. My other one is a little bit more sturdy, and so I just like a sturdier bag. So something I got from another friend for the next trip is actually this little bag, which I thought would be super helpful to have on, you know, when you first board the plane and you just need a few little things. You could put this in your bag as you're putting your other bag, you know, overhead or underneath. You can have this little bag at your seat, and it makes it easier. Plus, this is great for soul winning too, because you have, you know, your church invites or your cards in here, and your phone and ID and whatever else you need in this smaller bag. So the smaller bag is actually great for, you know, your soul winning for the day. Oh, Caleb, go get me, I need the water bag. I need the camel pack.
This because it's just like that other one.
This one is also a crossbody bag, and this one would work as well. It is a little bit bigger, so you could probably put a smaller water bottle in here, which would be cool. But I had my husband take my bag that has a camel pack in it. Let me go grab it. Hold on. Okay, so here is the bag that I was talking about. So this is a camel pack. So what's cool about this is it actually has a little pouch to put your water in, and you simply just drink it from this. Now, I think these kind of bags are really cool to use for an athletic thing, like if you're running a race. I was using this to train for a 5K, but this is a really great bag to, it has like a little hanger on it, and it's a little mini backpack. It has zipper pouches and everything, but I really love this bag because not only does it have a bunch of little pockets, but it has that camel pack in it. So I sent this with my husband on his cruise, and he really liked it because it had a place for all of his soul winning materials in there, you know, a few little Bibles and a bunch of tracts and a couple movies, you know, that kind of thing. And he really found it helpful. So I need to get him one of these for Christmas because he can't have mine. I need mine. So that is something that you might find helpful to take with you on the trip. And a couple of other things that you might find helpful is packing things like extra tissues, the Dramamine in case you get sick. Now, I've never been on a ship before, so I wasn't sure how I would handle it. So I did take these with me, but I didn't actually need them at all. I didn't get sick or nauseous or anything that I can recall. I did wake up not feeling that great on the first day in Nassau, which was super disappointing. It took me a little bit to get my act together that morning, but I did finally make it down there and was able to participate. But other than that, I didn't get sick on the trip, and I didn't end up needing this, but it's always good to take things ahead just in case and be prepared. So also this, a friend of mine got me several of these things a friend suggested because she's been on these cruises and missions before, so it was good. So this is like a wrinkle releaser spray, which came in super handy. There's no heating elements on the ship. On most ships, they do not have an iron in the room. They don't have a coffee pot in the room. Like I said, that was coffee torture for me. So anything with a heating element, they're not going to want that in the room. So they will let you borrow an iron, but you have to give it back. It's only for like a certain amount of time. So this wrinkle releaser is actually really nice to be able to take because then your clothes, you get there, they're wrinkled. You can just pull the wrinkles right out. Take some extra Q-tips and cotton pads. I folded up some paper towels, different things like that. I took some extra and I repacked everything because I did use a lot of what I took, but I came home and I repacked everything that I really liked so that I'm ready for the next trip. And I can take that, and I know, so I made a big list when I got home of things that I want to take with me next time and things that I know that was like a good thing for me to take. I just already packed it. It's like ready in my bag. And so basically, little Ziploc bags are in here as well. Some other helpful things that you might want to take are, in this bag is a rain poncho and wipes for pests. So these are basically mosquito repellent, bug repellent type things. And the ones that I like are, I think these are from, I forget which company they're from, but they are they don't have crazy ingredients. These are from Young Living, actually, yeah. And so insect repellent, I highly recommend that. I did use one or two of those, but I didn't have to use them all, thankfully. And water shoes are great. I didn't end up using these on the trip, but I definitely will end up using them next time. The day that we went to the Bimini beach, we actually were soul winning and we didn't have time to actually go to the beach and enjoy it. We were not prepared for it. When we did go, we did actually go in the water on the beach at that beautiful place anyway, just for a few minutes, because we could not get on that ship without just experiencing it. So we ran down from the port. We had already started walking up to the port and we're just looking at the water going, we can't leave this place without getting in that water. So we did go get in the water, and I actually wasn't planning on getting all the way in the water. I actually got swept by a wave and just swept me right off my feet down into the water anyways. I wasn't dressed. I wasn't wearing my swim dress. That's like another thing I was going to tell you. Ladies, take a couple of swim dresses with you. I took 3 with me and ended up using 2 because even hanging them on the clothesline is another recommendation I have for you to take. Lola said on the Princess lines, they actually have the clothesline for you in the bathroom. It's a little bit hidden. I wasn't sure, so I took a clothesline that has the hooks. And I also took these little hooks that are magnets. You can stick these on the wall in your cabin. And I hung things on it like my little sweaters that I took. And when I say sweaters, these are really, really super light sweaters. They're not heavy duty sweaters or anything. So it worked on these little magnets, and the weather was absolutely beautiful in March when we went. I highly recommend that time. Maybe after the whole spring break thing, maybe not during it. We went like after it. I don't think it was still going on when we were there because there was no ruckus on the ship or anything. A couple of things that I got, souvenir wise, was a coffee mug, of course. This was from the Norwegian Jade, which is the ship that we were on through Norwegian Cruise Lines. And I brought back a couple of little things for my boys, just some little seashells like this. I just brought these fun little things back for them. And then also a little keychain, just something simple.
And
so
it
that
has something on it.
Yeah.
It has Jade on it.
Oh, cool. Okay. So yeah, just something simple so that they know that I thought of them when I was out on my amazing cruise trip. And so that's pretty much, I think, this too is really helpful. I didn't end up using it on the trip on the cruise, but I used it when I got home. And actually these are really great for taking photos and protecting your phone. This is like one of those phone protector bags so you don't get them wet. So it actually does work. I was scared to use it on the cruise, but I did test it out and use it after I got home on a trip that my husband took us on. And it works great. So I highly recommend this, especially if you're going to be swimming with those pigs or doing any kind of snorkeling and you actually want to take pictures. I highly recommend that. So every day what we did, just a little bit more information about the cruise itself and how it worked as far as the soul winning every day. Every day what we would do is we would get off the ship and we would go to the island. And we would do our thing, right? Soul winning for the 4 or 5 hours, and then coming back at the end of the day. And then we would have leisure in the evenings. We had to be back on the ship by like 4 o'clock. And then the ship would set sail around 6. And so we had to make sure that we were back on time. So we didn't get a whole lot of leisure time actually on the islands because we were doing, the soul winning. So that's why we only had a quick dip at the beautiful Bimini Island. But like I said, we did get a full day at the private island that was a leisure day. So that was absolutely beautiful and enjoyable as well. So what we would do is at the end of each day, we would actually meet on the ship with our lead, which was Brother Segura on this particular trip. And so we would meet with him, and every evening we would get a new map for the next place that we were going to, and we would get our instructions on where we were going to be going, what we were going to be doing, what was expected, and how everything would go down. And so it was pretty well organized, considering. And so I think it was really great. I would recommend, if you are like me and you don't like to be unplugged, I would recommend getting the cruise. If you have Verizon, next time what I plan to do is to get basically the cruise package or whatever it's called. And also I plan to get all the phone plans with Verizon just to cover everything. So I have data, phone service, and all of that. I do not like to be disconnected, especially not from my family. And away from work totally. I do love my work with clients, and so I don't like to be cut off completely. So that was part of the trip that was not that enjoyable for me. Some people love it and they dig being unplugged. I'm not one of those people. I like to be plugged in 24/7 almost. So that part wasn't that enjoyable for me. So if you don't like to be unplugged, I do recommend getting those packages. If you have any questions or you'd like to participate in a cruise missions, I know that there is one more this year coming up. It's an 8-day Northern European cruise, and I believe there's another in January. I am hearing there's another in April, and these are not necessarily put on by our church, but they are put on by some people that go to our church, and we're just inviting others to participate with us and go on these cruise missions. And if you've never been, soul winning on a missions cruise or on a missions trip in general, I highly recommend doing this. It was a super, super enjoyable trip. Like I said, a lot of people saved, and it was just a really enjoyable trip as far as being able to see the beautiful ocean and the beaches and meeting the people there and getting people saved and just being refreshed with fellowship with your like-minded friends, believers. It was just a really great time. And I'm forever thankful to Mrs. Anderson and our church for, making this possible for me to go on this trip. So thank you very much for all of that. And I'm just really excited for the next cruise missions. Like I said, I hope to go with my family next time. And so thanks so much for watching. And like I said, if you have any questions, just comment below in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And we'll see you next time on the next podcast. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Make sure you subscribe for some more videos. Bye.
Take it back. Granted, it don't look very good, but it's going to be good. Want some, Amanda?
No thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Smell it. It smells pretty good.
Yes, sir. Oh my goodness. Yes. That's nice and made. It was rocky yesterday. It was nice. That looks like all fish.
Gosh, I don't know if I could eat that.
So what? So we just keep following down to the coast and come back right now. Yeah. No, I
No, I love it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want some of my eggs?